Activated. There we go. And then this one's the same. Activated audio app. Well, let's try talking. Try again. Okay, let me try one more time. One more time. Oh my god, this is so ridiculous. Why am I not getting the audio that I need? Try again. Oh, there you are. That's audio. That's that one.
You can do it.
There we go.
Leave it
Sorry.
in.
Okay, welcome.
Leave it in. Leave this in the
All
episode. Leave
right.
this in the.
Yeah, okay. So we're back. Welcome back to Action Jack-0ffs, the show where we talk about the very best favorite action movies of all time. Today we're going to be talking about Point Break from 1991, starring Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze.
The sways.
The Sways.
The sways.
Hot off the presses of doing Roadhouse. And
Roadhouse.
if I'm not mistaken, Keanu Reeves, what was he doing around this time?
I believe he just did Bill and Ted.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He had just finished
It was the year before, I believe.
the sequel, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, was it the sequel?
Yeah, because didn't Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure come out in like, whatchamacallit? Like in the 80s?
Bill and Ted, 80, yeah, so it just came out or the same year.
Okay, let's look at it. Yeah, so Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures was 1990. I can't tell.
It says July 19th, 91 was Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Yep.
And then Point Break
is 1991 of
came out. Oh, they came out this came out 4 days before.
Holy shit. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. So
but
really,
yeah,
he had just done the first one.
But then
was doing some little bit parts in between.
But yeah, he does Bill and Ted's, and then he does this movie, and then his career just kind of like takes off. Because then he goes on to do like Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then he goes on to do Speed, and then The Matrix. So he really, and then all culminating in John Wick, which then of course led into his magnum opus as Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh my god, it was so good.
Was it? I didn't see it yet.
Oh, dude, I didn't see Sonic 1 or 2, but the second they brought Shadow in, I was like, all right, I'm going. Oh, and it's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
And I got to hear him. Got to hear Keanu Reeves go, "I've been frozen for 50 years."
Yeah. Killing it, huh?
Which is perfect. He was the best part of that movie, let me tell you.
So I thought this was interesting. The movie was directed by Catherine Bigelow, who would go on to direct The Hurt Locker, Zero Dark 30, and there's one more that I saw that I thought was really interesting. I guess that was it.
It's a classic blank check situation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is my first time watching the movie.
Hell yeah, what did you think?
I liked it a lot. This is.
Oh, I knew you would.
This is
your meats and potatoes. That's why. In how many episodes is it? We're 20 plus episodes in now.
Oh god, yeah. It's been so long.
Every episode talking about how good it is. And I got to text my dad because I didn't even remember to ask him about how much he loves Point Break. This is like his top 5 movies other than Speed.
That's so funny. Let's see here. Damn. Okay. Yeah, no. So I really like this movie. This kind of like came to a head. Like I had never seen it, but I was really interested in it because it's Patrick Swayze in an action movie, which if you guys know me, I love Roadhouse, so I was gonna love this movie. Keanu Reeves, sometimes I'm hit and miss whenever I think about Keanu Reeves, but in action movies it works pretty well. Like as long as he's not expected to act a lot. You know what's actually funny? I'd take that back. His acting was actually pretty good in this movie.
I am an FBI agent.
Yeah. Um, you know what else I thought was really funny about this movie is that Keanu Reeves' character, he just gets fucking beat up all the time in the movie.
He's like the anti-action star
Like he's supposed
in this film.
it's kind of like an Ash Williams vibe, where he's like supposed to be like this uber badass and he fits the bill, but like he gets beat up he loses almost every fight he gets into in the movie.
No, it is every fight. He doesn't win one.
Yeah, like he like when
Even
like
the fight at the end, he doesn't win.
he doesn't win it. No, he just walks away from it.
Yeah, they
Which
both walk their separate ways.
like you could argue maybe he technically wins the fight because he handcuffs Patrick Swayze and like kind of stops the fight.
Yeah, but
Um,
he didn't really he didn't punch him out or
no,
anything.
no,
He just kind of was like, "Ah, I gotcha," but then he also lets him go.
yeah, lets him go for like the third time or something in that movie.
Oh, it's so good.
Like he let him go when they were doing that really big chase sequence, which was a really good chase sequence.
In the
Uh,
L.A. River.
in the LA River. So he let him go. That there's so many iconic moments I didn't realize were from this movie. Like I didn't know the whole president's mask thing was from this movie. And the whole like whenever he's aiming the gun at Patrick Swayze's Ronald Reagan like during that chase, and he can't pull the trigger at the last second, so he like aims at the sky and starts shooting. I've seen
There's a
that.
whole Hot Fuzz bit.
Exactly. I've seen that in Hot Fuzz. Never knew that was from this movie.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up also because it felt like I was the character where I was like, "You've never seen Point Break? You never
Yeah.
just shot your gun up in the air?"
Yeah. And so yeah, he loses the fight. He kind of loses the fight in the beginning where he's like at the beach and those guys come and rough him up, like Bunker
Yeah,
and War
when half
Child.
of the Red Hot Chili Peppers beat him up.
Was that who that was? Or are you just making
Yeah,
a
Flea
joke?
from one
You,
of them is Flea from the Red Hot Chili
you're
Peppers episode.
lying to me.
I'm almost positive. I could be wrong on which member it is, but I'm almost positive that the really weird looking guy is Flea.
That's hilarious. And Patrick Swayze's Bodie character has to come save him. So he didn't win that fight by himself. He was getting beat up. But it's also like
He loses a
whatever.
fight to a naked woman.
He lost. He got beat up by a naked woman. And then when he fought it was that same guy, War Child was his name, and he was like fighting him, and he almost gets like his face cut off by the lawnmower. So he lost that fight. He was losing that fight until Gary Busey stepped in, which I was also surprised to see Gary Busey here, which I find funny because whenever I think of like action movies and Gary Busey, I always think of Under Siege with Steven Seagal. Like I always compare that movie as like, oh, that's the Gary Busey action movie, and I never saw Point Break, so I never put those two together.
I always think of him as the guy from Predator 2.
That too, yeah, that's also it's been a while since I've
But
seen Predator 2.
oh, it's not very good. I also like what's his name from Scrubs pops up.
Yes,
John C. McGinley,
yes.
young, dumb, and full of cum.
I love how he's like, I guess we're on shortage of assholes around here, and Keanu Reeves like, not yet,
Not
not as of
from
yet.
my perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good line. Lori Petty as Tyler in this. This was right before she did her cult classic Tank Girl. So this was also kind of like, excuse me, this is also kind of like her big movie. That kind of helped like put her into that new stratosphere. So
Right before she was in Free Willy as well, big part of my childhood.
yeah, so very iconic voice. I always remember her for her voice work than I do anything else.
I was wrong. One of the surfers is Anthony Kiedis, who's the lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was not Flea. My fault.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
I was like, I know it's him, but I was watching it and I was like, that doesn't look like him.
You know what I really
And
like about
what's that?
the movie is this is such a random thing to like comment on, but I thought it was really funny. I like Keanu Reeves' character's name is Johnny Utah.
Oh my goodness.
Like I don't know why. I think it's a really cool trope whenever the main character has like a state in their name. It gives me Indiana Jones vibes. It's really like what it is. Like I'm like you're kind of a badass if you've got a state in your name. Like you could be it could be any state and it could sound cool, like Johnny Massachusetts or something like that. Like it
The
it would be
character
cool.
from True Romance being named Alabama.
Yep. Yep.
Red versus blue, all of the freelancers.
Yeah, it's a nice touch. It's a nice touch for sure. And then you've got uh uh Pappas, Gary Busey as Pappas.
Papas.
I just like the names. The names are very nice. They stand out. Like Lori Petty is Tyler. It's not a very typical name you'd give somebody. Bodie, Patrick Swayze, Johnny Utah, Pappas. I mean, it's all very unique. I just like the setup too. I think the setup is a very nice setup. Like if we're talking about it, the movie from like a story perspective, it's a very unique story.
Oh, it's perfect. You okay? Oh my goodness.
Oh, did you hear that?
Oh yeah. Uh, I was just gonna say that I just think it's so funny that Gary Busey, for the first bit of the movie, is like, I just don't know why I can't get into this surfer gang or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, because you look like a middle-aged man
Yeah.
who's a narc.
Yeah. I love when he's just like when he goes to like tell Keanu Reeves, like Johnny Utah is like, listen, man, just tell me your theory so I can like help you like uncover this whole mystery of who these guys are. And Gary Busey is like, I just this is gonna sound dumb, but they're surfers, and I love like
They're
the
surfers.
color just kind of like drains out of Keanu Reeves' face, and he's just like, oh fuck, I didn't expect this. This is stupid.
This is
Uh,
stupid. I know because of their tan lines.
yeah, the tan lines, the dirt, the soil
I am not a
specimen.
crook.
Yeah, the setup really works. I don't know, like it just kind of like functions really well, and I also like
Oh, it's
how there's like the red herring, like it like the movie tries to get you to believe that it really is those other guys, like that first group of assholes that show up, and they're like, oh, you know, like
you can't surf here.
can't surf here, the
Locals only.
locals only, you bitches. Um, but I like that that goes nowhere. I like that
No.
not only does it not go anywhere, it's also like they fucked up somebody else's case.
Oh, it's the classic part that they rip off in Fast and the Furious because this whole movie is just a rip off of Fast and the Furious where Johnny Tran they raid Johnny Tran's house on accident
Yeah,
because John Connor gets in too deep with the racers. It's the same story told again.
yeah, pretty
I love
much.
it.
Yeah. Which, yeah, now
Yeah.
having seen this movie, you can tell Fast and Furious took a lot from this movie.
I don't know. Even the bar restaurant that Tyler works at in this movie is the same bar that Paul Walker and Vin Diesel go and have shrimp at
Yeah,
after they race the Ferrari.
yeah. Did you also notice that there was like a small callback to Roadhouse in the movie?
Uh, is it with him? Is it Patrick Swayze just looking sexy in jeans?
No, it was like Keanu Reeves like said something about a roadhouse. He was like, "Yeah, it's a dive bar or roadhouse or something like that." And I was like,
Oh, and they Swayze just kind of winks.
he, he looks right at the camera and winks. Yeah, no. I thought that was really funny though. Like
Oh, that's
that
perfect.
had to be a nod.
Had to.
Had to be. Um, but yeah. What were some of your favorite things about this movie?
I love just the amazing pacing of the action sequences, like when we're up in the plane before they do the hysterically inaccurate but amazing skydiving sequence. I just love how if you're just like, oh my god, this is gonna take 30 minutes and it's just over immediately.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, that scene would be so drawn out.
Well, it kind of makes me wonder now, looking at some of these scenes, how they redid them in the 2015 version.
Oh, it's just more extreme, and
It
it's more of an emphasis on other sports and like activities and stuff.
like it's not
Like they're
just
doing,
surfing and skydiving.
yeah, they're doing like parasailing, and they're using those squirrel suit type. Like it's all kinds. It's more of a Mission Impossible type movie.
Okay, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, it makes me curious now. I kind of want to check it out, but that would be funny if like we did an episode on this movie, and then we did another episode on the remake.
Well, we got the Keithy boy take corner.
We've got time.
We've got time. Old Keithy boys, number one, best immature line ever. Young, dumb, and full of cum.
Yep.
The only movie that Lori Petty is hot. The
What?
50-Year Storm is awesome.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah.
Who would?
Are we left to believe that Patrick Swayze dies in the storm?
That's how I've always taken it.
Yeah, because when Keanu Reeves walks away and he's like, and the police are like, "We'll get him when he comes back," and then Johnny
He
Utah's
ain't
like,
coming back.
"He ain't coming back." I always assume that he dies, or it's believed that he's supposed to die in the storm.
He just that was his own. I feel like that was always the plan too.
Like he was
He was never
always,
gonna get away with it. He was always gonna end up there and die there.
yeah, which makes sense.
Makes sense.
Uh,
Next one. Who would the president's mask be today? Definitely the hundred. Definitely the 100 best masks ever. F. Jason or the Scream mask. He says.
who would be the? Is this your dad?
Yeah, it's
Oh my
still
god.
we got a big list on this one.
Oh my god. So wait. So who would the masks be today? Are we talking about like presidents wise, or are we talking about like just
I
what the
think that
masks would be?
who would the presidents be on the mask today? Would it still be Nixon and Kennedy and or not Kennedy, Reagan?
Who do you remember who all the masks were?
Uh, we had Nixon, Reagan, Jimmy Carter, and Lyndon.
Lyndon B. Johnson. Yeah. Yep. I think it would have to be like the last four presidents if I were because like if you're making it for a modern day audience, I feel like that's what you would
It would just
just
be like it would be Obama and Biden and
it'd be
Trump.
Biden,
But there would
Trump,
be two Trumps.
Obama, George Bush. Be two
Oh, it would
Trumps.
be funny to have a George Bush in there.
Yeah. Yeah, all the presidents from this century. Because
Maybe
like
a Bill Clinton.
maybe if we're lucky.
Depends on what your definition of the word is. Is.
Is um but if we were talking about like what kind of masks they would use in a modern setting, uh not using presidents, what do you think they would be?
I've always also been kind of partial to the town where they have the nun masks.
Oh yeah, the one with that movie with Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that one I always because I remember the trailer thinking it was a horror movie until the bank robbery stuff starts.
yeah. Okay, you can continue with your dad stuff.
Oh, you're fine. Johnny F in Utah is still my fantasy football team name. He says.
That's pretty good.
uh, he said this was I was going to bring this up later, but my favorite line and his favorite line as well is the "Give me two meatball sandwiches and a lemonade." Two Utah. Give me two.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I definitely say give me two Utah. That's like definitely in my vocabulary.
Yeah, that's in the books.
It's in the books. Patrick Swayze could not have been cooler as a bad guy.
It's so interesting. He plays such a interesting bad guy too. Like he doesn't come off.
You want to be his friend.
You want to be his friend as much as Johnny Utah wants to be his friend, but at the same time, he's a murderer. Like he kills people, and he was willing to uh, take Tyler hostage and tie her up and basically threaten to kill her if Utah didn't do what he wanted. Like he turns
Yeah,
into such a conniving asshole.
the true colors are shown. He's
Yeah.
not he's not truly the Dalai Lama that he preaches.
No, yeah. But at the same time, he is like that guy. He is that way. It's just that alongside that is a fucking crazy asshole, which is just so
Absolutely
unique,
crazy.
so unique.
So unique. I love it so much. The two more, and then we're done with the Keith corner. He then says that the no parachute, absolute horseshit.
Oh, where Utah dives out of the plane without a parachute on.
Yeah, like he could definitely catch up to him, but there's no way that works.
There's no way somebody jumps out of a plane without a parachute.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And then he says, "This is the first movie he saw on the first week he went away to college, and he was just like, ah, it might be a good time." And now he like watches it once a year.
That's good. It's always nice when you have like that one specific movie that you just watch religiously,
Oh, so
ceremoniously.
perfect.
What
Good stuff.
what is like what is your version of like that? Like what would that be for you?
There's a few different ones that I watch once or twice a year. Most of the time, uh, it's usually monster movies of some sort. Like I usually watch Jaws every summer,
Yeah.
anytime I go to the beach or anything. There's a really good romantic comedy thing I watch all the time called Risk Cutter's a Love Story, which is very, very deep cut, very indie, hard to find,
Okay.
but it's a cute little one. And then Total Recall, of course,
Oh,
perfect.
good one. Good one.
I always, I'll always find an excuse to go back to that one just because it's so weird.
We should do that one. Uh
Put it on the list.
it's on the list. Damn, we could I'm not gonna jump to conclusions. I was just gonna say we could do that one. Could do that one
He's just
next.
ready.
I'm ready to jump in.
Fuck the wheel. I'm done.
Oh man, the wheel. Well, like the wheel's killing me because like if I were to get off topic for a second and just talk about that, the wheel has been driving
As
me.
we're talking about Total Recall already.
The wheel has been driving me crazy, dude. Like I think we just need to do away with it because
Hey, that's
we need to just do movies that are available for us to do instead of having to do movies that like we have to buy or whatever. Like if I buy a DVD, like for instance, I want to do Roadhouse, but I can't do Roadhouse because Roadhouse isn't streaming anywhere.
got the VHS.
Exactly. Like if you have like the physical copy of Roadhouse or I have the physical copy of Roadhouse, then we'd do Roadhouse because then we would just get together and do it. But
Yeah,
we also can't do things based on whenever we see each other because we only see each other like once every other month or something like that.
yeah. Hey,
Like
I get it, buddy.
that's why it took so long for us to do Last Boy Scout because we were waiting to do it when we were together because you had the VHS for it and it took all of December for us to get around to doing it.
And then we also got to see Steve-O, so that was pretty cool.
That was badass. That was really cool. That was a great day. Wish we could do it
That was a
again.
great day. We should.
Anyway.
Hey, there's comedians in chat all the time, man. Anyways, so Point Break. So Point Break is legitimately just a boys movie.
Yeah.
It's hard, even though it's direct. It's like I don't know how to express. It's like a woman gaze, but through a male's eyes. I don't know how to explain it. Like every man looks so kissable in this movie,
What the fuck?
but also so masculine. You know,
Yeah.
it's just
Well, Keanu Reeves did win the award, MTV award for most desirable male, thanks to this movie.
it's like that's crazy that he could win that in the same movie that Patrick Swayze is in.
Patrick Swayze, it was nominated.
That hair is goes hard.
Yeah. Well, it's funny to me because uh, the dichotomy between the two is so interesting. Like you have Johnny Utah, who in many ways is the exact opposite of Bodie, but they share something in common. I think that's what I like about their relationship is they do share something in common, something about wanting to be free, something about wanting to be not tied down by the system. Like which I think is symbolic in where Johnny Utah lets Bodhi go at the end of the movie to go be free and enjoy the storm, and then right as the credits are about to roll, Johnny Utah throws his FBI badge in the water.
Both casting away their members to the systemness.
Yeah, like they're shedding what's left of society for them.
And it's so fitting that it's surfing because it's such like a ebb and flow. Ocean is wide and vast and untamable. Like it's such a good metaphor through to look through.
Yeah. And it's also funny that well, it's also surfing because it was like the early 90s.
Oh, it has to be.
And if it wasn't that, it would have been like skateboarding or something like that.
And then it became street racing.
And then it became street racing, and then I don't know what it is, like rock climbing or something nowadays.
I mean, over we could do cliffhanger any day.
Yeah, I guess we could. Or we could just do that one scene from Ace Ventura Pet Detective 2 where he's parroting Cliffhanger.
Oh, I hate
I don't know.
Ace Ventura 2 is unwatchable.
Well, I'm glad I brought it up then for my ridiculous
Oh my
analogy.
god, so bad.
Well, you know,
I want my money back. I didn't even have to pay for it, but I want it back.
he wants some kind of some kind of retribution.
Also, speaking of cliffhanger, have you seen the SNL bit where Norm Macdonald is making fun of Sylvester Stallone?
No.
So Norm Macdonald is like a character who's in a car crash, and Sylvester Stallone runs up and he's like, "Hey man, I'll help you out." And he goes, "No, not Sylvester Stallone. You made that terrible movie, Over the Top. You're arm wrestling for the custody of your son. That's terrible." And he's like, "Sir, I'm just trying to help you." And he's like, "No, you made Stop or my mom will shoot. You're a criminal."
You're a criminal.
Cliffhanger. The only part that I was over the edge of my seat is when this movie will end. And like he's just ripping it. I'd rather watch Kramer versus Kramer.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie, but I think he was still talking about the divorce bit in Over the Top.
I'd rather watch
Just look
Kramer.
that up. It's such a good bit.
I'll look it up after this. That's so
I think
funny.
he eventually hits him. I think that's how the bit ends. Is the cops show up and he's beating up Norm Macdonald.
Oh, sorry. You know what? This whole time, I had chat on like disappear.
Has
So,
Marv been here the whole time?
Marv's been here like for a while.
You are such an asshole. Our one guy, and you're just disrespecting him
I
like
feel so
this.
bad. I was wondering to myself. I was like, why is no? I was like, nobody's. I was like, but it's typical. Nobody really like talks in chat whenever we do the podcast, except for Marv. And so I wasn't like thinking to myself. I was like, oh, you know, like oh, it's like whatever. Uh, Marv's not here. I just assumed he wasn't here, but he's been here the whole time. and he
Incredible.
and he texted me too. He was like, "Look at chat, you dumb motherfucker."
Incredible.
Oh man, so funny, dude. Hopefully, I can play some Marvel Rivals after this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Got your head in the game.
I got my head in the game. Anyway, so Point Break. I'm sorry, Marv.
It's incredible.
But anyway, Point Break. Uh, if you were to rank this, like if you were to say this is like my top three, top five Keanu Reeves movies, like in terms of like action movies,
Oh, this is two.
this is number two. What's number one?
This is... Oh, it's Speed.
Speed. Oh, dude, I was just thinking about this. I was like, oh, dude, I fucking love Speed.
Dude, Speed and Point Break, perfect double feature. Then you go John Wick.
You go John Wick and Shadow the Hedgehog.
I mean, it's not top five, but it's probably number six. Is Shadow the Hedgehog because he carries the movie really.
Yeah, yeah, I believe
It's
that.
mostly like his story. And then Jim Carrey's playing two characters. Oh, it's ridiculous. You'd love it.
I would love it. I gotta watch two, and
You
then
don't have to watch two.
I want to because I already saw one.
Well, then you have to watch the show.
Knuckles.
Yeah. If you're gonna be a completionist, you have to actually do
I
it.
have to do it. Yeah, I have to do the whole thing. But yeah, I'd probably put God, dude. Yes, I don't know, man. I'm kind of caught between the first John Wick and Speed.
But come on.
Speed is so good,
Speed is so good.
and Point Break's good too. But I think Point Break is because now I'm thinking about it in terms of the action. Is the action justify the sequence, like the ranking? Like the action's good, but the I'd say there are two really good standout scenes in the movie that I think about that I would watch again without, like, if I were to not watch the entirety of the movie and I just had to watch those two scenes, I'm watching the scenes where they do the raid on that house because that is just like beautifully chaotic, and then I'm watching the scene where they're doing the chase scene, right? Like Johnny Utah's chasing Bodie through L.A. And those are really good scenes to me. Like those are my favorite scenes in the movie.
It's pretty good.
Um, but
They're just jumping through backyards and shit. It's just
it's basically like Ferris Bueller on crack.
it really is.
It really is, and it's so good. But I don't know. Speed is just like the entirety of Speed is just like a really good scene.
They're cans.
Yeah,
They're just cans.
just can't. Uh, so I'd probably, no matter where the ranking is, I'm putting Speed before Point Break. Point Break.
That's yeah. I have Speed before Point Break as well. It's just where you put John Wick. Is it number one or number three?
I think I put John Wick before Point Break. I also have I also have like, you have more of a nostalgia when it comes to like Speed,
To
but
both of them. I
but
watched both of Speed and Point Break just religiously in my childhood.
but I would
Like I wasn't as much as a Terminator and like or not Terminator, as much of a Schwarzenegger and Sly guy. I was like Keanu Reeves
yeah,
guy.
I'd probably put John Wick above Speed just because I saw it in theaters and it was like the thing I
Mhm.
grew up on.
I saw John Wick in theaters.
And I saw it with a group of people. And one of these days, whenever I'll tell the story and stuff, whenever we talk about John Wick, if we ever get to that point in time. But I saw it in theaters with like a group of people, and it was just a whole lot of fun. And so like I always think to myself like that's my favorite. Not I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite Keanu Reeves movie. It might be, but it's my favorite action movie of his. I think it's the best action movie. And then Speed right after that. Didn't have to wait long for Speed to show up. And then I'd probably put Point Break after that, and then I'll probably put The Matrix behind those guys.
Yeah. Matrix is five.
Yeah. And then I'm sure there's other ones. Like he's been in other action movies. It's just those are the ones that stand out the most. But yeah, I think that's do you have anything else you want to add on Point Break?
Just that it fucking rocks.
Slaps.
Slaps.
Yep.
Just such a great movie. Just through and through. So fun.
Did you want to look at what we have on the wheel, or do you just want to decide off screen what we're gonna do next?
We could probably decide off screen. We could just say screw the wheel.
Yeah, because we have Lethal Weapon, Roadhouse, Police Story, and Avatar. So we can probably pick something from there because I know you have Roadhouse. Lethal Weapon, I'm pretty sure is streamable. I think. No, it is not.
The 1985 Police Story is streamable on Max right now.
So we could do Police Story, or we could do Total Recall, and I think that was one we were talking about.
God, I would Love to do Total Recall.
Let's do Total Recall. Because I've got Total Recall, you've got Total Recall. Let's just do Total Recall, and then we'll do like, and then
Total
we'll do
Recall's next.
Total Recall's
Marv,
next.
what does Marv got to say about it? What has Marv said this whole time?
He's just been chilling in chat.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell right. All right, so that's gonna be it from us on Point Break. Get used to these shorter episodes. I think it's just like much easier for us to talk about the things we want to talk about and not have to like drag it out. You know what I mean?
Have a
So
little side tangents here and there.
have little side tangents here and there, but ultimately talk about the things we like. So that's it. Um, we'll catch you
Give me two,
guys.
Utah.
Yep. Give me two, Utah. Give me two. So yeah, that's gonna be it from us. And yeah, don't forget this is gonna be up on YouTube the next day. So yeah. Peace.
Peace.